Hello, and welcome to I'll Knit With You. My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Steam as Evil Twin 2. You can find notes from the blog, illknitwithyou.blogspot.com. You can join the group on Ravelry, I'll Knit With You, or you can email me at illknitwithyou@gmail.com. Oh my gosh, I almost didn't make it. How are you guys? How are my owls and my yous? It's good to see you again so soon, right? Can you guess what one of my resolutions was? I don't know. And being at it so much sooner, I have a whole lot less to talk about, which is not so bad. So let's get into some blather. Also, if you are new to this podcast and you enjoy watching it, there is a thread in the group called New Franz where you can go and introduce yourself, and then I will talk about how awesome you are on the podcast. Usually I just say your username and kind of give you a shout out and say thanks for joining. So you can do that. I'm a little fidgety tonight. Sorry, I want to do that. So join it so we can have a New Franz segment every once in a while. That's always nice. But for now, we'll move on. We'll move on to blather. So I mentioned my wasp problem last week, and the weather got nicer, which means that the wasps come out to play, and I got stung. I got stung last week. So that was rough, and I found out that I'm allergic, which I did not know, because I thought I'd been stung, but I guess maybe I was thinking about bees, or I don't know. But I got stung on my foot, and my foot swelled up, and it was hard to wear shoes. It's still a little painful, so that was Wednesday, and today is Tuesday. No, that was Wednesday, today's Monday. This will probably come out on Tuesday, that's what I was thinking of. So I dealt with that all weekend, swollen foot. Not a lot of fun, but that's okay. Gonna have to talk to my landlords and see if they will potentially get rid of these wasps. We can't seem to find the nest. That's the big problem. But enough about wasps. That's stressful to talk about. So, I'll open a book over here. So, sorry, look at that. So one thing that is going on is that the Fat Squirrel talked about something where she writes down in her notebook when she wants to buy something and lets it simmer for a little bit. And I am totally the worst at impulse buying, and because I'm a knitter, I think I just started buying things to prepare for things I want to do. Like, if I see a good notebook, and I'm already in the middle of a notebook, or not even in the middle, like a tenth of the way into a notebook, I'm like, oh no, but I'll need this notebook. So I'll go ahead and get that notebook. I don't need to be doing that. That's ridiculous. So I've been writing down things that I would have bought, and that kind of and I have to have them in my notebook for a week before I'm allowed to buy it. That's a pretty good indicator if I want it or not. So, so far stuff I have is Find Your Fade yarn and pattern. It's quite a bit of money. More tea, because I have plenty of tea, but I haven't finished it. Buying stuff from Fibertown's new Etsy store because she started selling her hand spun, and it's gorgeous, and I love Fibertown, so I will probably eventually buy some, but not yet. Not yet. Just some stuff like that. And so it's kind of nice to space that out. Plus, I don't know if I've ever to tell you guys before, but I am going to SSK again. I did get off the lottery. I think I told you, but I feel like maybe I didn't. I don't know. Whatever. So, yarn money needs to be set aside. It's a yarn diet 2017, right? Not a yarn buy it 2017. Oh, I just thought of that. So I'm trying to do better about money. 2017. Let's be responsible. Speaking of not spending money, I did see a couple of movies recently. I finally saw Rogue One. Oh my gosh. That was emotionally exhausting and just wonderful. But I also saw Passengers, the one with Chris Pratt, and I did not like that movie at all. The concept is good, but watching it played out is a little creepy. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And I started a book race with one of my friends because we're both pretty avid readers, and I listen to more books than I read, but I want to read books too. And they do both of those things. And so what we're going by Goodreads, and we're going by the number of, because we realize that we're going to be reading different lengths of books, and so what's fair? Young adult versus the entire works of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is a totally different level of reading. And so what we're doing is we're going to go on Goodreads, we're friends on there, and we are going to see who's read the most pages at the end of the year, and that's how we're competing by pages. And so even if we're doing audiobooks, most of them are actual books, and so that's how we'll find the equivalent. So that's kind of exciting. A book race. And so far I'm ahead by 2,000 pages, but they just started 3 books. So we'll see who wins this round. Speaking of Sir Arthur Conan speaking of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I can say it, I just have to say it slow. I think what I'm going to do, I would like to read by listening, all the different Sherlock stories this year. And I have, it's called the Complete Sherlock Collection, the Heirloom Edition, which I hear is missing a few, but it's still pretty comprehensive. So my plan is to listen to one of the stories, listen to a book, read a book, listen to one of the stories, listen to, read a book. So it's going to be kind of like a multi-month book for me. Kind of excited about that. I just decided that today. And then video game wise, I started Bioshock 2, which was an event because Bioshock 1 I played on my PlayStation, which has a regular controller and it's all ready to go. Everything else I'm going to be playing from now on pretty much is through my Steam account, which is on my Mac. Macs aren't super supportive for gaming, which is okay. And I have a Steam controller, which is pretty cool because you don't have to play it off the keyboard, and I can plug my laptop into my TV, and so it's like all a thing, right? Well, Steam controllers are a little weird. They only have 1 joystick instead of 2, so when you're trying to run and move your camera, which is this one, it gets a little confusing, so you have to kind of reprogram your controller yourself, which is pretty simple to do, but it's a new experience, so embracing that. So that's pretty much all the blather I have. So, it's been a week, but it's still pretty eventful. Wasps and book races and movies, so that's pretty alright. So let's move on to Bloppins, because I started my OWL, and the first thing on my list is the Ohio Valley Natural Fiber. It's this lovely purple with tinsel, shiny and gorgeous. And I've not spun a ton because there was a wasp in my room, and now I'm terrified to be near my spinning wheel because what if one of them is hiding somewhere? I have to get over it. I have to get over it, but I haven't yet, so, So here, I don't know why I didn't just take this off, but I'm sure I also know. So there's what I've done so far. It's really pretty, it's really purple, and it's not very much. So probably once that gets farther along, it'll be a little more exciting to look at. I'm spinning that on my Acreworks bobbin. It's blue, it's lovely. And yes, so when I actually went to propose it, I had to add some more fiber to it. So everything's going good so far. And my super failed chasing butterflies with my Set Pages to Stun yarn, I'm going to be doing it over, like I told you, the 3 Irish Girls. I thought the Springville DK in the something colorway. That is going to be my Order of the Phoenix. So I proposed that as well. And everything is going really good for my house kept so far. I'm really pumped about it. So, yay! I also have some full of it. Okay, so I told you guys I was going to do my so there's like paper on here so that my loom works correctly. My Chasing Butterflies as a plaid. I'm doing it also with some Blue Moon Fiber Arts and some Noro in the plum colorway. The Blue Moon Fiber Arts colorway I don't have off the top of my head for you, but it is on my projects page, which is helpful. So here's my plaid so far. I'm not really sure how it's going to look on camera. It's not as plaid-y as I would like it to look, and a lot of that is just the unevenness of a weave that when you first do it. So I'm hoping that once this is fulled, which is when you wash it and let it felt up a little bit, which is why the segment's called Full of It, that it'll kind of plaid out. But if nothing else, it's lovely stripes. So that's always nice. The Noro yarn that's red isn't very strong, and so I've had some problems with breakage. I guess it's not red, so it's more of like a plummy color. Oh dear. But this yarn right here, I've had some problems with it breaking. It's not a very good warp yarn, because warp yarn needs to be really strong. So I got to do my first broken yarn fix, and for that you kind of just have to tie yarn to it. There's not a whole lot of options that you have. But I managed to do it, and I think everything's looking pretty normal, so that's pretty cool. Learn something new. I don't technically have any whips unless you count the Brioche Memories blanket, so we're actually skipping whips this week. Get excited. I don't know. I just, that was a weird face. Okay. But I do have 2 FOs. So this is my mom's CC beanie. The CC beanie pattern is by Emily Ingrid. Did I get that right? I think it's Emily. I wrote it really tiny. And this is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the Calypso Heather. So I think it's really cute, and she's pretty pumped about it. I think I'm going to make one more of these in the True Blood colorway by Blue Moon Fiber Arts for me. Because I have my really pretty gradient one with the pom-pom, but not every day is pom-pom day. You know, not every day. So that's going pretty well. And then my Brioche Memories blanket, I got a lot done. But first I have to tell you, this is kind of blather, but it really fits in more with this. So, as a knitter, I find the purse that I'm carrying around depends a lot on the projects that I'm working on. And I feel like Rella Twist, Karen, has talked about this a couple times, and I feel like someone else just talked about a knitting purse. I'm not sure who it was. But anyway, the purse that I was using was just a Merona Target purse. It's not small, but it's not huge. It's not very tall. So some project bags would stick out at the top. And so I have this very adult-looking purse with like a really erratic pattern sticking out on top most of the time. And if I'm going to work, this hasn't really got room for like a water bottle and something and knitting project. This is like, it's small for me. It's small for me because I got a notebook and pens. So I looked around Target and I didn't really find any purses that I liked. And so I asked for some suggestions from some of my work friends, and all those purses were kind of just not really me. I wanted a purse that looked like it could handle some traveling. So it's not the most adorable purse in the world, but it's quickly becoming my favorite purse I've ever bought. I got this purse from Amazon, and it's not that much bigger than my Target purse. It's slightly taller and just a little bit, maybe not like half an inch wider, not a lot wider, but it's not open on top. That one's got a zipper on top, but it kind of opens up. This one, it's really weird. Instead of being directly across the top of the zippers, it's like kind of in the front half of it, almost like a backpack. I don't know. But my Brioche Memories bag fits in there just fine, whereas with this one, it's pretty much the entire purse if I put this in there. So, because I'm getting a Brioche Memories blanket, I had to have room for it in my purse. If you think this purse is really cute and you just have to have one, there will be a link in the project or in the show notes. But it wasn't very expensive, so I don't buy purses that cost more than $40 because I will destroy them, or they'll get destroyed and I'll be like, why did I spend so much money? And the purses that I buy for cheap last forever. It's like one of those things, like it's like chaos theory or something. I'm not sure which one it is. Anyway, so I've got bad luck with nicer purses, basically is what I'm saying. So this is a super cute, super sturdy purse. It's got the 2 little handles, or the long strap, which I have to have the 2 little handles for a long strap, basically. And I know you're thinking this is a knitting podcast, so let's just see the Brioche Memories blanket. Yes, I'm getting there. I'm just really excited about my purse. Oops. There was a thing that I decided in 2016 that if I bought something new, like a purse or bed sheets or whatever, it should only be an upgrade. Like, why would I buy a shirt that is ill-fitting, or says it's clothes, obviously not bed sheets, but why would I buy a shirt that doesn't suit me when I could buy a shirt that does suit me for the same price? And so, like, everything that I buy should only be an upgrade. Get what I'm saying? Like, even if it's less money, if I think it's more worth it, then it's an upgrade. So, only be upgrading, I guess. So, here is my Brioche Memories blanket. There are now, I think it's 14 squares. So the ones that I have added are the Nerd Girl yarns in the Shimma Crab Nebula colorway, the Sweet Georgia Tough Love in the Intergalactic colorway, this Color Wheel Tough Sock Striped Rainbow, the Miss Babs Kira in the Volcanic Eruption, the Jinx yarn in the House Cup colorway, This one is the same as my Breathing Space sweater. It is the Malabrigo sock in the ochre colorway. I also have some Miss Babs Yummy in the Berlin colorway. It's hard to remember all the different names of all the different yarns because I'm not one of those people who just knows all that stuff. So I'm sorry if it frustrates you that I'm looking at my show notes to make sure I tell you the right thing. But because I know when I look at other podcasts which do blanket squares, I'm like, oh wow, that yarn is gorgeous. What is that? So I'm trying to keep track of everything really, really well this time. And that's one of the things about this blanket is I want it to all be documented yarn. None of these like yarn scraps that I got from somewhere at some point and that are something mysterious. So now I like the Brioche Memories blanket. I was doing about an hour and a half, hour 20 minutes to do each square, and now I'm about like an hour 5. But that's still a lot of time, and I feel like there's so much other knitting I could be doing. And I feel like when I sit down, I have to either be working on this or a massive project. Like, if this is my small knitting, and I get that an hour in knitting time is not that much, but if this is my small knitting, then what is my big knitting? Like, when does that get to happen? And so I'm kind of struggling with this whole one block for every day thing. And I'm thinking maybe one block for every 2 days is enough for me, honestly. Which means that at 14 blocks, just double checking, I am one away from being 15, which is about half of a month. And I think I'm comfortable with that because I think I like to put this down for a little while. Now, because it's not a square, I might go ahead and just do 2 more because then it would be a square. And I'm clear with that too. But I really just don't want to work on this right now. I want to start something more exciting. And the other problem is that while I have a lot of sock yarn, not all of it has memories tied to it, and some of it's still in the skein. I don't want to cake up yarn just to put a square in a blanket. I'd rather do it the other way, like make a pair of socks, than add a square. And so I may alter my plans for this. I may not do 365 squares. I may put a square onto this after I've knit a whatever. And I think I'd be happier that way. Because for one, it's not constantly working on one project when I want to work on 25 projects. And for 2, then there is a memory associated with it. You know, I can say, oh my gosh, you know, now some of these yarns do have memories even though they're not in projects. Like this is not in the project. This is just some scrap amount. This is 36 grams of yarn total. But this one over here, the Miss Babs Volcanic Eruption that I knit all those hats out of, that has good memories for me. And this is part of my, you know, multicolor hat. And so some of it does mean something. But right now, I'm pretty content with where it's at. And even though I made this lofty goal of 31 squares in 31 days, when I look at it, that doesn't make me happy. So then that's not a life upgrade. That's a downgrade. And so I'm okay with changing my plans. So that's where this is at right now. It might sit for a couple of days. I really want to start that Blue Moon Fiber Arts hat for myself. And I really want to get back into spinning if I can get over my wasp fear or just get rid of the wasps. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm content with my weaving and my hat making and my spinning. So that's all I have this week. So whether you're changing some of your resolutions or you're keeping strong with your resolutions, either way, I'll knit with you. Bye, guys.